Hey guys, it's Kelly with Tech Savvy Realty Solutions, and I've got Allie, formerly known as Dubois, but now Youngling, and she's with Atlantic Bay Mortgage. She's one of my absolute favorite people on the planet, but also back in the day when I was in lending, we worked together, and she helped me build my business. And she is a top one percenter for sure in the mortgage industry, and I'm super proud of her, but also wanted to bring her on here to get her take on her marketing pieces. So technology is not normally her jam, but she really hones in on the social media aspect and makes it so easy. So I think you're going to love this interview. So introduce yourself, Allie, and tell us a little about you.
Well, thanks for having me, Kelly. So yeah, Kelly nailed it. She was my boss back in the day in mortgages, and we've grown to become really, really close friends. And I handle my business a lot differently than Kelly does. Like when Kelly was in mortgages, she was the queen of hitting the phones.
Right.
And that's just not my jam. Kelly is totally fine to pick up the phone and cold call, and that is so uncomfortable for me. So I wanted to come up. Yeah, you're abnormal,
right?
But I wanted to come up with a way to generate business that felt natural to me and would more attract to the business rather than me having to seek the business and smile and dial like you did.
So just recently you came back from maternity leave, having the prettiest little girl ever in the planet. And you made your grand entrance by posting this incredible video. So tell the people watching exactly what you did and kind of how you came up with that.
Yeah, so I didn't want to just, pick up the phone and call everybody or send out a mass email that I was back to work. I wanted to make my announcement a little bit more fun. So I had a videographer come to the house, and we did a video shoot out in my backyard by the pool. And, we set it up where my husband was sitting in a pool chair, drinking a beer, hanging out. And I came outside with the baby on my hip, and I handed him the baby, took his beer, took a swig, and picked up a phone call. And then we played some fun music, and it said, the Queen City Lender is back as of March 2024. And it was great because it was a fun way to get in front of everybody. I've got relationships on social media with a ton of my past clients and a lot of my realtor partners. And that got 9,000 views. Whereas, if I would have just sent out an email, I would have had a much smaller database that I would have hit.
Yeah. So it's just simple things like obviously you went through the extensive of bringing in a videographer. It was phenomenal. I'll link it at the bottom, but it was just such a fun way to utilize social media to say, hey, I'm back, right? And send me some business kind of thing. So what we want to teach people is that technology and social media does not have to be that hard. Don't overthink it. Like that was a choreographed thing. But normally I would say you do some of these incredible little videos of you just sitting in your car and you're just explaining something that came up, and it's so genuine, very knowledgeable. It really hits the target market that you're going for. And I feel that people relate to you. So, and that's a lot of what I have seen when doing technology and utilizing social media is that the ones that get the biggest hits are just you being you, right? Like you always look amazing. So that helps. But aside from that, you come up with great content. So where do you come up with that?
Oh, thank you. So really, it's funny. I keep a little note on my phone, and anytime a client asks me a question that I think, that's a good question, I bet a lot of people are wondering about that, I'll just jot down the question in my phone. It could be, if I get seller paid closing costs, what can I use those costs for? And I'll just keep a little note. And then anytime that I have makeup on and my hair is washed and I'm not looking like a postpartum crazy mom, then we'll sit down and record a couple of videos, and I've got the content ideas already set up. And I always try to make sure that they are 60 seconds or less, max 90 seconds, because you lose people's attention. So I try to say whatever I want to say in the most concise way possible, and maybe put a little fun music on it so that it's just a quick scroll and I can get their attention and they can move on.
So what has been your biggest, aside from the returning from maternity leave, what would you say has been your biggest viral hit?
So it's funny, the video that got the most views, I wasn't even in. I literally took a notepad and I did some simple equations with a Sharpie, and I just did the cost of waiting to buy. So if you're looking at potentially renting or buying a house, what's the difference? And I just made it really quick and to the point with some calculations. And I started by slapping the notebook. Let's talk about buying a house. And that video got like 30,000 views. I got loads of comments. I got a ton of friend requests as a result of that. And it was just me giving some general information if somebody was curious, about potentially buying a home or continuing to rent. And that just went over so well. And it was nice because I didn't have to be made up.
Yeah, it's amazing. See, that's what we really want to teach people is you don't have to be so fearful of getting on social media. And what people always say is like, oh, I don't want to get on camera. I don't look good. I'm like, it's how you look. So, figure it out.
It is what it is. Yeah.
Person at some point. So, the other thing I think is really cool is that, having simple, easy steps, like how you just wrote on a notebook to say, here's something important. We've got agents out there that could easily be like, hey, here's the cost of not working with an agent. Write those things down. Just simple things, like you said. If a customer's asked you a question about the process, jot it down in your phone. And then as you're sitting in your car, just make a quick video. It's so simple. You can put a filter on it if you want, but you don't have to. It's okay too.
Yeah.
But it's just something to kind of get knowledge out there. And I feel like, when was the last time you made a cold call, Allie? Like when was the last time you really went out and marketed to new agents to come to you? I feel like they just come to you because of your content.
Well, that's so nice. Yeah, I don't like to feel like I'm selling to people. That's just not my jam. I don't like to be sold to. I don't like to sell to other people. I like to attract business. So yeah, honestly, I just don't do that. I always just put out content and try to let it happen organically. And it's worked for me.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Any other cool little tips you have that you want to share?
Well, the only thing I want to mention it right now is that I'm seeing a big trend where people want to watch something that's like 10 seconds or less, and then they'll read a caption. So if you just do it could literally just be a still shot of you with some fun music, and then you've got a good caption with information that you're giving away. We're not gatekeeping, we're giving the information away. I feel like that is getting a lot of hits right now. So that would be my recommendation. If you don't want to do a whole video, just get a nice photograph of yourself and then put some good information in the caption. And I think it's a win.
Yeah, we did actually a video not too long ago with a guy who uses ChatGPT to say, give me 30 content items for the next 30 days that I can write exactly that. You take B-roll, you put it in a reel, and in the actual description, you put the information. So it's like the best place to go eat in Charlotte or whatever you want to do. And you say, I can't wait to tell you, or something like that, or, the stuff's in the content. And then you actually don't gatekeep, put it in there so that it can continue to flow, and you'll get more and more hits because people are still viewing it because they're still reading it. And so the algorithm is teaching people to look at your videos because people are watching it so long.
Yeah, they're spending time reading it, and that little film has gone through 30 times by the time they're reading your caption. So it's definitely helping your engagement. And I think it would be brilliant for an agent to put out some information that homeowners really want to know, such as how do you comp a house? If you just put a picture of one of your listings and say, this is how I came up with this price, and then detail that information out in a caption, people want to know. They want to understand how we come up with the things that we come up with. So I feel like that would be a hot post. Yeah,
I think that's awesome. Well, thank you again. I appreciate you being here. And I love our doggies in the background, yours and mine.
Dog mom.
All right. Well, you have a great weekend. And don't forget to like and subscribe and share. I'm going to link Allie in the description as well. So be sure to check out the Queen City Lender, as well as her phenomenal maternity comeback video, because it's awesome. And we'll catch up with you soon. Thanks, guys.